Hello everyone. In this video, we will learn how to automatically fill a template Word document with MS Forms questionnaire answers using a simple Power Automate flow. We will use the MS Forms connector to gather data from our questionnaire, and we will then use the Cloudmersive document conversion connector to fill placeholder strings in our template Word document. Before we look at the MS Forms questionnaire and Word template document I'm using to demonstrate this process, we will first get our flow started. We will click Create, and then we will select the option to build an automated cloud flow. We will select the MS Forms trigger called When a New Response is Submitted and create our flow. Jumping over to my MS Forms page, we can see that I have a form called Client Intake Survey. This form has 3 basic questions about the name of some client organization, the services that organization has requested, and the timeline or deadlines the client has specified. Now, jumping over to my Word template document, we can see that I have several placeholder values ready to capture responses from the MS Forms questionnaire. This is all intentionally very basic and high level to streamline our demo, but the goal is to dynamically generate a document that will help our team track new clients and their requests. Jumping back to our flow, we will start by configuring our MS Forms trigger action. To do that, we will simply open the trigger action and select our form ID from the dropdown that says Pick a Form. In our next step, we will add another MS Forms action to our flow called Get Response Details. This action also requires that we configure a form ID, but it uses the unique response ID provided by our trigger action to bring questionnaire responses into our flow environment. At this point, we will bring our template document file bytes into this flow using a getFileContent action. After we configure our site address, we can use the folder navigator icon to select the template file from our SharePoint site. Now we can go about filling our template document with questionnaire responses. To find the specific action we need for that, we will first add a new action and search for Cloudmersive connectors. We are looking for the Cloudmersive document conversion connector, which has a green logo. Once we find it, we will click See More to view the actions list, and we will then search for an action called Replace Strings in Word DOCX document. If we haven't used actions from this connector before, we will need to create and authorize our connection at this stage. To do that, we will need a Cloudmersive API key, and we can get one for free by creating a free account on the Cloudmersive website. With a free API key, we can make up to 800 API calls per month with 0 commitments using any Cloudmersive connector. To configure our word string replacement action, we will first click Show All to view the advanced parameters. As we can see here, we have 2 distinct file input fields, one for file bytes, which we'll use in this context, and one for URLs, which we'll ignore. And we also have 3 additional parameters for configuring string replacement in our template document. By setting the match case parameter to false, we will ensure our flow performs a case-insensitive match against our placeholder string. Below that, we will fill the match string parameter with the first placeholder string we created in our template document. We will simply copy that first placeholder string and paste it in here. But please note that we do need to remove any extra spaces that might have been picked up in our copy-paste process. Extra spaces are extra characters, and these will throw off the string replacement action. After that, we will move down to the Replace String parameter, where we will select the first questionnaire response from our MS Forms survey. We will find that available as dynamic content from our Get Response Details action. We will now repeat this process for each placeholder string in our template document. Instead of using our SharePoint file bytes in the following 2 actions, we will instead use output content file bytes from the prior step. This chains each string replacement action together and creates the completed questionnaire document we want at the end of this flow. Once our chain of actions is complete, we will add a create file action to our flow and generate the filled version of our questionnaire in a SharePoint folder. In my example, I will be creating the new file in the same folder I got the template document from. And I'll of course use output content from the final string replacement action to make my file. One thing to pay attention to here is how we name our file. We can do this with a static naming convention, or we can dynamically name our document using information about the MS Forms survey response. In my example, I'm naming the file using the responder email value along with the organization name response value. We need to remember to add a DOCX extension here as well. When we're finished here, we will save our flow and run a quick test. Since this is an automated flow, we will test by submitting a questionnaire response with made-up customer information. When our flow finishes running, we will find our first completed template document in the folder we specified. If any of the placeholder strings in our document were not replaced in our flow, it's most likely that we did not paste that particular string in the string replacement action correctly. Otherwise, we should have a dynamically generated survey response form ready for use in any way we see fit. And that's all there is to it. If you have any questions for us after going through the steps of this video, please feel free to reach out to a member of our team and they'll be glad to assist you.